I want to show you a YouTube video real quick. So I say, okay, maybe I'm thinking about playing this game at this date. And if you go here, you'll notice that some of these are highlighted saying that there's a schedule conflict. You can see here, there's this schedule here, and it says Monday or Sunday. And this is quote unquote smart programming language. So you see here, these are some example things you can write, like not Friday, after 9 p.m., weekends only. And they'll understand all this. This is what you type, and then this is how you confirm that the software understood what you said. Because you can actually write anything you want here, like busy during the summer. You write whatever you want, and then here it's basically saying it doesn't understand what this means, which is fine. You can still leave it like that. It's just that it won't be able to help you with the scheduling. If you type it in the format that it understands, so I say like Monday, so it says, okay, I understand you mean Monday. Or you type it like this, Monday. There's a couple of different ways of doing it. Moonybug is free on Mondays and Sundays, for example. So then it says, okay, this is what I understand you to be saying. Yeah, I think you're saying she's available Mondays and Sundays. Someone else. But the Celeste is only available after 9 p.m., for example. So that's another syntax you can use. So then whenever I schedule a game here, for example, this one I schedule at 6 p.m. So yeah, so Bunny can't make that one because she's only free after 9 p.m. So yeah, so that's a new feature. We just launched it.
Oh.
And this is a difficult to do feature. You type in more or less natural language and it figures out what you mean. That was LLM that wrote that. I didn't write that. An LLM wrote that. And it didn't even need lots of back and forth prompting. I wrote one prompt.
Yeah.
And it just did the whole thing. Here's what I did. In partner detail view, that's the name of the screen. For the schedule field, help me define a domain-specific language for specifying the schedule of when someone's available. It should be able to express things like not available on Fridays, only available after 9 p.m. The language should be able to express a function which takes a data's input and returns true or false as to whether the partner is available at that time period. That was my prompt. And the way I phrased it, I thought there was going to be back and forth. So that's why I said, help me define the language, like design the language. What I was expecting is I write this and it says, okay, how about you have these keywords, this is your statements, this is what, and they'll be like, oh, but that doesn't handle this case I need, you know, and we iterate, we eventually figure out what the language looks like. It's like, okay, great. So now let me start writing it, which is going to be like a whole week or something like that. That's what I thought. But no, what happens, I'd say this, it created the language, then it wrote the parser for the language, and then it updated the UI, you know, of the warning sign that shows up and the screen with the examples. It came up with all those examples. I didn't write any of that. It just did the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, remember when they were like telling everybody to learn coding?
Yeah, this was going to take me weeks. And the language it came up with is better than the language I was going to come up with. I had some ideas in the back of my mind, right? The human user is going to have to learn some Boolean logic, like Monday and Friday, or, you know, and then there's precedents. So you got to put parentheses around them. And then, but no, it's just so much simpler, so much easier to use.
Right.
And I didn't have to lift a finger. Not only did it design the language, but it wrote the parser that understands it. Then it updated the UI and then integrated it into the software. I didn't tell it. I didn't say like, now make sure my program uses this language you designed. I just said, just design the language. But it inferred what I wanted, right? It says, oh, I'll design the language, but also I know what you're going to do with that language. I know you're going to put it on this screen, you know, it's going to affect these UIs. Then on this other screen, which I didn't mention, I didn't say anything about when you go to the list of games, then there should be a warning sign that shows up that says, oh, this person's gonna be busy, so you better. It figured that all out.
Yeah, we're all gonna die.
This is insane. Like, what?
Yes. Yeah.
So the Substack you haven't read yet is about this topic, but this actually happened after I wrote the Substack, so I couldn't use this as an example. I'd use another example of a situation where it blew my mind.
Yeah.
But this one also blew my mind.
Yeah.
This is the title of the subject. Genes and genies, golems and gods. The AI knows exactly what you want and doesn't care. And this is an example. It just knew what I want. Like I didn't say update the app. I didn't say we're gonna use this so that we can tell when we can schedule. No, I just make a language. This is, oh, you want to make it? Okay. And I know it predicted. It's like, I know what you're gonna use the language for. So let me just do that for you automatically.
Right. Easy, done.
Updated.
It better than you would have.
Yeah, design a better language and then put it in and it just what the heck?
Right. But then it's like, and you're a genius for doing it. And you're like,
yeah, it's a great idea. I love your feature. You're such a visionary for coming up with this feature, I'll tell you.
Taking all our jobs. and it's better at it than we are.
Yeah, because this would have taken me weeks, like at least a
I
week
know.
at the lower bound, a week,
Right.
possibly
No,
2-3
and
weeks.
it's not even like, oh, it just saved you time. Like it did it better
Yeah,
than
it did
you.
it better. Like it did better than what
Yeah.
I would have made. So like my software would have been shit, right? Like I
Right.
would tell the human user, okay, so I got this
Right.
feature, but you're gonna have to learn a
You
new
need to
programming
be able to-
language. You have to learn a new syntax. I'll teach it to you, but you have to learn it because how
Right.
else are you gonna communicate what you want? But the
Yeah.
AI was like, no, let's just like here's the language. You just type naturally what you want.
Elegant,
It'll
full, yeah.
know what you want.
Yeah.